Okay, so just look at the board. In last class we discussed about 5 points related to the step function, and now here in this class some simple equations and inequations involving those step x. We are going to solve all these problems one by one. Just have a look once. Excuse me. See, look at the first problem. Step x is equals to 3. So what step x is equals to 3, then what are the possible values of x? See, we know that if x is a number which is in between two integers like n and n plus 1, then its step value is n. As we discussed, the rule of that step is simply nothing but if x value is a number which is in between two integers n and n plus 1, then in that case we say that step x is equals to n. Is it clear? And already we know that with this definition of the step, see what you say about step of 3.7. Step of 3.7 is 3 simply. Not only for 3.7, you just take any number with 3 as the integral part, like 3.7, 3.4, 3.56, 3 point something. For all those numbers the step value is 3. So since step x is equals to 3, then the possible values of x are the numbers which are in between 3 and 4. Okay. So if x is directly 3, the step value is 3. If x is a number in between 3 and 4, still the step value is 3. So at the end, answer for this question is 3 less than or equals to x less than 4. Just think about it. 3 is possible for x, but 4 is not possible. Okay. And every number which is in between 3 and 4 is a possibility for x. You just take any number which is in between 3 and 4 and their step value is still 3 only. Okay. And for step x is equals to 3, your solution is 3 less than or equals to x less than 4. Okay. And you just utilize the basic definition of the step and try to answer the remaining questions. Think about the next one. Step x is equals to minus 4. See, minus 4 is also an integral value. So if x is in between what? If x is in between minus 4 and minus 3, then we say that the step x is minus 4. Once again I will explain for you using the number line. For suppose here if we have here 3 and here it is 4, and if x value lies in between this 3 and 4, 3 is acceptable and any number between 3 and 4. If x lies in between 3 and 4, then their step value is 3, and that's why 3 less than or equals to x less than 4 is a solution for the first one. Whereas if you think about the next one, here step x is equals to minus 4, so somewhere you have minus 5 and here you have minus 4 and here it is minus 3. So the step value is minus 4. See, for all the numbers which are in between this minus 4 and minus 3, minus 4 is acceptable, and every number which is in between minus 4 and minus 3 is a solution for this. So since step x is equals to minus 4, your values of x are minus 4 less than or equals to x less than minus 3. Just think about it. Okay. So if step x is equals to minus 4, x values are in between minus 4 and 3. Minus 4 is acceptable for x, but minus 3 is not acceptable. And every number which is in between minus 4 and minus 3. So if you say a number which is in between minus 4 and minus 3 is minus 3.8. Minus 3.8 is a number which is in between minus 4 and minus 3. Its step value is what? Its step value is minus 4 but not minus 3. So step x is equals to minus 4. Then the possible values of x here are the numbers which are in between minus 4 and minus 3. To answer these simple questions, we need the basic definition for the step x. That's it. Okay. And then think about the third one. Yeah, step x is equals to 5.7. Just look there. Step x. See, step x is always an integral value. Irrespective of the x. See, x may be any number. X may be integer. X may not be integer. If x may be any number. In all the cases, step x value is an integer, but here step x is given as 5.7, so it is not possible actually. Okay, so for step x is equals to 5.7, we don't have any solution, so no solution is your answer for this problem. Just think about it. Okay, right. And then fractional part of x is equals to 6, right? We know the definition of fractional part of x. Fractional part of x is always in between 0 and 1, but here it is given that fractional part of x as 6. Since fractional part of x is 6, which is not in between 0 and 1, so this problem also has no solution. Okay, and whereas this case fractional part of x is equals to 0.7. So whenever the fractional part of x is 0.7, we need to identify all those x values. See, there are many values which generates the fractional value of x as 0.7. See, what are those values? If you say 1.7, 2.7, 3.7, for all those numbers the fractional value is 0.7. Is it right? Just think about it. See, for suppose if I say 19.7, for the number 19.7, the integral value is 19, whereas the fractional value is 0.7. So all the numbers which are of the form some integer plus 0.7 will generate the fractional value as 0.7. So for this problem the solution is n plus x values, or there are many possibilities for x. X is equals to n plus 0.7 for n belongs to integers. Take any integer and you just add 0.7 for that integer. All those numbers are possible for x. So here for the fractional part of x is equals to 0.7, there are infinite possibilities. Okay, and all those infinite numbers are of the form n plus 0.7, where that n is an integer, maybe positive integer and maybe negative integer. Take any integer and you just add 0.7 for that resultant number is a possible value for x. Okay, and one more question, actually here I have not mentioned. See, just think about it. Fractional part of x is equals to 0. Then what are the possible values for x? What is the solution for x? See, fractional part of x is equals to 0. See, fractional part of x is 0 if there is no fractional part in the x, if there is no decimal part in the x. So we need to collect all the numbers for which the decimal part is 0. So all those numbers are simply integers, so x belongs to an integer. Okay, so and these are the solutions for these equations where the step involves. Okay, and in the same way here I have some questions where I need to solve the inequalities where the step x is involved. Okay, and all these problems are very simple. You just look at these first, and if they are clear for you, then try to answer these inequalities. Okay, just have a look. Yeah, now related to these inequalities, the first one is what? Step x is less than 8. You just think about the problem once. Step x is less than 8. We know that step x is an integer. Always step x is an integer. X may be any real, but step value of x is an integer. Here they mentioned that step x is less than 7. So what are the possible values for x? Step x. See, one by one we need to solve. Here they mentioned that step x is less than 8. So we need to take all the possible integral values for step x. So what are the possible values for x? An integer which is less than 8 are possible for step x. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, like that I need to continue. So step x may be any of these integers. And what you say about x? So if you take x, that step x value must be less than 8. Okay, right. You just think about it. Yeah. If step x is equals to 7, what is your solution? Now the possibilities for the step x are 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. First of all, you just think that if step x is equals to 7, then what you say about the values of x? As we discussed in the previous case, step x is equals to 7. So x means 7 point something, 7.4, 7.5 like that. That in the sense the possible values of x are in between 7 to 8. Okay, in between 7 to 8. And what if step x is equals to 6? What are the possible values? The possible values are in between 6 to 7. Okay, if you just combine all those things, this is from 6 to 7, this is from 7 to 8, and if you go for the next thing, that is from 5 to 6, if you combine all those values, for sure you will get that x value is less than 8. Just think about it. There, my final solution is x less than 8. See, if you take any number which is less than 8 and its step value for sure is either 7 or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 and then any of these integers. So if step x is less than 8, then the value of x is less than 8. Okay, if step x is equals to 8 or if step x is equals to 7, then the values of x are in between 7 and 8. Is it clear? Okay, right. Once again, if you need, just observe the solution. Step x is equals to, step x is less than 8 as they given. Step x less than 8 means there are many possibilities for step x and all those possibilities are just integers. So the step x value may be 7, maybe 6, maybe 5, maybe 4, 3, like that. We just continue, okay, for the negative integers also. So as we discussed in the previous case, if step x is equals to 7, then the solutions are what? 7 less than or equals to x less than 8. If step x is equals to 6, the solutions are 6 less than or equals to x less than 7. If step x is equals to 5, the solutions are 5 less than or equals to x less than 6. Likewise, we will get all the solutions. And at the end, we need to combine all these solutions, 5 to 6 and then 6 to 7 and then 7 to 8. So there is a barrier at the 7, we need to stop at the 7, but there are many values possible for x less than that 8. So at the end, the final solution is x less than 8 and that's your answer. So if step x less than 8, then your final answer for the problem is x less than 8. Okay, just think about the problem words. Similar to that, if step x is less than minus 9 is also an integer. So we just simply solve it, just that x less than minus 9. Okay, so you need to solve in the same manner. Since step x is less than 7, what are the possible values for x? All those values we need to locate, okay, and then we need to think. First, if you need, I will explain for you. Just have a look. The next problem. Step x is less than 9. Since step x value is less than 9, then what to say about the possible values of step x? An integer which is less than minus 9, minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, like that I need to continue. So step x value is what? Minus 10. So if step x value is minus 10, its answer is minus 10 less than x less than minus 9, just as we discussed in the previous case. So minus 10 less than x less than minus 9. And what you say about minus 11? If step x is equals to minus 11, then minus 11 less than x less than minus 10. Likewise, we need to continue. So you just imagine, for suppose if you have a number line here, minus 9, minus 10, minus 11 and so on. If you take any number in this region which is less than minus 9, for all those numbers, the step x is an integer which is still less than minus 9. So your final answer is x less than minus 9. Okay, right. And the next thing is step x is less than or equals to 10. So if step x is less than or equals to 10, then just a small change is that the possibilities for step x 10 is also included. Okay, you just think about it. Step x is less than or equals to 10. Since step x is less than or equals to 10, the possible values of step x are 10, 9, 8, 7, like that we need to continue. If step x value is 10, then what you say about the solution? Step x is 10, then x is 10 point something. So x values are in between 10 and 11. Is it right? Right. And if step x is equals to 9, then the x values are in between 9 and 10. If step x is equals to 8, then the x values are in between 8 and 9. Likewise, you will get many solutions. At the end, if you combine all those, what you say about the final solution? See, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and you need to stop at that level. So, your final solution is that x less than 11. Just think about it. See, if step x is less than or equals to 10, then the possible values of x are x less than 11. Okay, just a small difference. Okay, if step x is less than 8, then directly x less than 8. If step x is less than minus 9, directly x less than minus 9. Whereas if step x is less than or equals to 10, then x value is less than 11. Say a number which is less than 11, like 10.7. Then what you say about the step of 10.7 is 10 itself. Here equality sign is there, so that value is acceptable for this inequality. Okay, and now after this, you just think about the next one. Step x is greater than or equals to 11. Okay, I will erase it and then I will discuss the next one. Step x is simply greater than or equals to 11. Then what is your answer? Step by step we need to analyze. Okay, step x is greater than or equals to 11. See, step x is an integer, we know it. So, since it is greater than or equals to 11, so 11 is acceptable for that, 12 is acceptable, 13 is acceptable, and every number after that 11 we need to accept for step x. So, now we need to write the solutions, right? So, for that I am writing like this: 13, 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on. All these are the possible values for step x. And if step x is equals to 11, then what is the solution? So 11 less than or equals to x less than 12. Is it right? Any number which is in between 11 and 12 gives us the step value as 11. And if step x is equals to 12, then the values of x are in between 12 and 13. And if step x is equals to 13, the values of x are in between 13 and 14. Just think about it. We need to combine all these solutions to find out the final solution. 11 to 12 and then 12 to 13 and then 13 to 14. So starting from 11, we need to take all the numbers which are greater than that. 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 14, like that we have to continue. So at the end, what to say about the final solution? The final solution is for sure x greater than or equals to 11. Okay, if step x is greater than or equals to 11, your answer for x is again x greater than or equals to 11. Okay, just think about it. Just I mentioned here some simple inequalities where the step x is involved. See, you need to observe the procedure, observe the way of thinking how to solve those basic inequalities. With that idea, we can solve other problems also. Okay, just think about the next problem. Yeah. Think about it. The next one is what? 1 less than x less than or equals to 12. So we need to find out the values of x. As they given, 1 less than step x is less than or equals to 12. Since step x is in between 1 and 2, what are the possible values for step x? See, step x is an integer. I am repeating that step x is an integer. So you need to choose a number which is in between 1 and 2, and that number should be integer. So in between 1 and 2 there are no integers, but here equality sign is there for 2. So 2 is acceptable for step x. So if 1 less than x, step x less than or equals to 2 as they given, we need to take step x is equals to 2. And since step x is equals to 2, we know the solution that 2 less than or equals to x less than 3. Every number which is in between 2 and 3 gives us the step value as 2. So if step x is equals to 2, then the values of x are in between 2 and 3. And for this problem, your answers are 2 less than or equals to x less than 3. Okay? Right. And the next thing. What is the next problem? You just think about it. 1 less than or equals to step x less than 3. Okay? There is equality there for 1 and which is less than 3. So then what you say about this step x? See, step x is an integer and that step x value is in between 1 and 3. So you need to write all the possible integers for step x. So 1 is an integer, 2 is another integer. More than those two numbers, we don't have any other integer which is in between 1 and 3. So the possible values of step x are 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. So if step x is equals to 1, the solutions are 1 less than or equals to x less than 2. If the solution is 2, step x is 2, then the values of x are 2 less than or equals to x less than 3. If you combine these together, the final solution is 1 less than or equals to x less than 3. Is it right? So 1 less than or equals to step x less than 3 gives us the answer as 1 less than or equals to x less than 3. Any doubt? Right. And one more problem I have, just think about it after that. Okay, I will analyze once again. Right. So the next problem. Here the solution is what? 1 less than or equals to x less than 3. Okay. The last problem. What it is given? 1 less than or equals to step x less than or equals to 4 is given. So 1 is included for step x, 4 is also included for x, and step x is in between 1 and 4. So what are the possible values for step x? 1 is okay, 2, 3 are also the integers between 1 and 4. 4 is also acceptable because equality sign is there. So the possible values of step x are just this 1, 2, 3, 4. If step x is equals to 1, my solution is 1 less than or equals to x less than 2. If step x is equals to 2, my solution is 2 less than or equals to x less than 3. And then 3 less than or equals to x less than 4, and then 4 less than or equals to x less than 5. If you combine all these things, the final solution is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. All the numbers are possible for x. 1 less than or equals to x less than 5 is the solution. Just think about it. If the equality is not there, the solution is up to 3 only. If the equality is included there at 4, we need to go up to 5. So the final solution for this problem is 1 less than or equals to x less than 5. Okay, just have a look till now, and then I will give you some more simple problems related to this. Okay, just look at the board for the next bunch of problems related to the basic inequalities. See, step x is less than 3.4. So step x less than 3.4 means, as we know that step x is an integer. So 3.4 is not an integer. You need to take all the integers which are less than 3.4. That in the sense the possible values of step x are 3, 2, 1, 0 and so on. So if step x is equals to 3, what are the answers? In between 3 and 4. Is it right? If step x is equals to 2, what are the answers? In between 2 and 3. Like that, if you continue, the values of x which are less than or equals to less than 4 are the possibilities. X less than 4 is the answer. For suppose you just take that, any value which is less than 4. So something you say 3.6. See, step of 3.6 is 3, which is clearly less than 3.4. So every number which is less than 4 is a solution for that. Okay. And whereas step x is less than or equals to 3.4. See, 3.4 is not an integer, so step x is equals to 3.4 is not a possibility. So step x less than or equals to 3.4 is simply nothing but step x less than 3.4 only. And for step x less than 3.4, already we have the solution as x less than 4. There it is. And the next thing is step x greater than 3.4. Step x greater than 3.4 in the sense the possibilities for the step x are 4, 5, 6 and so on. So, and then what is the values for x? See, if x greater than or equals to 4 are the possibilities. If you take 4, its step is 4. If you take 4.1, the step is 4 and then greater than 3.4. So, every number which is greater than or equals to 4 is a solution. And the next thing is step x greater than or equals to 3.4. As I mentioned you, step x is equals to 3.4 is a meaningless task. So you need to start from the integer which is less after that 3.4. Again step x greater than or equals to 3.4 is simply nothing but step x greater than 3.4. So this same problem. And its solution, as I mentioned you, x greater than or equals to 4. Is it right? Right. And then 3 less than or equals to fractional part of x is less than 14. So fractional part of x is in between 3 and 14. It's a not correct, okay? Fractional part of x value is always in between 0 and 1, but here it is mentioned that in between 3 and 4. So here we don't have any solution for that problem, okay? And whereas if you think about the last one, 0 less than or equals to fractional part of x is less than 1. That's the basic range of the fractional part of x. Fractional part of x is always in between 0 and 1. And here also they mentioned the same boundaries here. And that's why take any number in the place of x, any real value, x takes any real, and you just take any real value, and for sure the fractional part of x is in between 0 and 1, and that's the solution. Just have a look once again. See, just solution is not sufficient, okay, to understand and to analyze all these type of problems. You just first think about all these problems, first try to understand all this, and if they are okay for you, once again just take the questions only, okay, and then try to write answers in your own way. After that again watch the video, correct your answers, and try to learn everything once again, okay, and that's the way of learning these type of questions, okay, and that's for today's class. Thank you.